Brace yourself for an astonishing truth: on Earth, formidable predators, lions, tigers, wolves, bow their mighty heads to humans, obeying with a docility that defies all logical expectation. From the vantage of space, Earth appears unremarkable, a blue-green sphere floating amid cosmic darkness. Yet for us, the Solarians, it became the epicenter of a galactic mystery. Tasked with cataloging life across countless worlds, we had never encountered a species capable of forging genuine bonds with apex predators without advanced technology or telepathic manipulation. We approached Earth under strict orders to observe discreetly and report back to the Grand Collective. Our early intelligence suggested that humans, though far from the highest rung of technological progress, possessed a secret weapon none could replicate: empathy. Skeptics within our council dismissed these rumors, insisting some hidden device or biochemical agent must be at play. Still, our curiosity overcame our doubts. Thus began our voyage on the Luminex, a vessel adorned with cloaking fields and sophisticated sensors, descending into Earth's atmosphere to seek the truth. Little did we know that our findings would forever reshape our understanding of what it means to command respect, and that the simple act of coexistence might prove more powerful than any show of force. Landing cloaked in the East African plains, we observed an incredible sight at daybreak: a lone human approaching a pride of lions without weapons, armor, or fear. Our advanced scanning devices registered the lion's heightened alertness, yet they did not charge. Instead, they swished their tails and yawned as if welcoming an old friend. The human knelt, offering a bucket of water to a lioness panting under the rising sun. Our team watched in stunned silence as the predator lapped the water with calm assurance. No sedation, no force fields, just mutual trust. Jasta, our lead xenobiologist, nearly dropped her holorecorder in disbelief. Even Tyrn, our stoic security officer, leaned forward, antennae trembling. We had documented domestication on other worlds, but it took generations of breeding or neural implants. Here, ordinary humans handled apex predators like docile partners. When the lioness finished drinking, she brushed her massive head against the human's shoulder, eliciting a soft laugh. Our emotional frequency scanner recorded a resonance of warm familiarity between them. How was such a bond forged with a creature capable of tearing a human limb from limb? That question consumed us. Determined to uncover the root cause, we followed this extraordinary human deeper into the savannah. Guided by our invisibility fields, we remained a safe distance away, scanning every interaction. The human eventually joined others at a makeshift campsite, where veterinary equipment and observation tools lay scattered. We saw them treating an injured lion cub, wrapping its wounded paw with bandages. Each adult lion stood near, watchful but not hostile, as though entrusting their kin to these healers. The scene defied all logic we knew. Solarian culture valued harmony, yet we heavily relied on technology to maintain peaceful relations with untamed creatures. Here, humans managed something similar without mechanical intervention. Oren, our cultural analyst, noted that their spoken words, though incomprehensible at first, carried gentle intonations. We eventually deciphered enough to grasp the sentiment: reassurance, compassion, and soothing vocal rhythms designed to calm the animals. Our instruments detected no hidden pheromone sprays or neural pacifiers. It was pure, genuine care. We retreated to our ship that evening, minds buzzing with possibilities. Were humans genetically predisposed to cultivate these bonds? Or was it centuries of coexistence shaping these predators to trust them? Questions multiplied without clear answers. Our mission's scope began to expand. We needed more data, more encounters, to grasp the full depth of humanity's inexplicable bond with Earth's fiercest hunters. Over the following days, we documented similar phenomena across diverse ecosystems. In the Amazon rainforest, humans rescued orphan jaguar cubs, nourishing them until they could survive independently. When the cubs matured, they roamed freely yet returned periodically to greet their human caregivers. In the icy landscapes of the Arctic, we observed Inuit hunters working alongside huskies, descendants of wolves, who faithfully pulled sleds and guarded camps from polar bears. Even the notoriously solitary tiger in Asia showed signs of acceptance toward certain humans who operated wildlife reserves. Each instance added to our dossier of baffling evidence. We argued endlessly aboard the Luminex. Was it merely advanced domestication, or something transcendent? Jasta theorized that Earth's evolutionary path favored social collaboration, even across species lines, while Oren speculated about complex cultural training. Tyrn remained unconvinced, suspecting hidden technologies. Yet each new encounter highlighted the same pattern: calm, consistent human behavior and an unspoken communication that transcended fear. Our emotional frequency scanner repeatedly detected trust, mutual respect, and a curious sense of guardianship. These humans did not merely tame, they formed kinship. Little by little, our skepticism eroded. If it was a trick, it was a grand illusion. But as we kept watching, it felt more like truth. In time, we resolved to make discreet contact. The Council had authorized minimal engagement if it could clarify this mystery. Our prime directive was to observe, but how else could we learn without speaking to the humans themselves? We identified a secluded research camp in the African savanna, staffed by conservationists who monitored lion populations. Late one evening, under the star-dappled sky, we uncloaked before a single researcher, a gentleman named Benjamin. Understandably alarmed, he froze, eyes wide, yet we projected a universal greeting in his language. I, Ambassador Ryla Tvar, stepped forward, offering open hands to show no threat. His shock gradually gave way to curiosity. Once he realized we meant no harm, his apprehension eased. Through halting conversation, we asked how humans could coexist with such dangerous creatures. Benjamin's response was surprisingly humble: they didn't see lions as enemies but as fellow inhabitants. He spoke of mutual respect and a belief that aggression usually stemmed from fear or neglect. By meeting the animals' needs, food, water, medical care, humans earned their trust. Though this sounded simple, it was revolutionary in galactic terms. We parted with the promise of returning soon, convinced that we had only scratched the surface of Earth's puzzling gift. Benjamin introduced us to two colleagues, Dr. Asher and Dr. Alina, who specialized in wildlife behavior. Our second meeting took place at dusk near a small campfire, where we carefully revealed our origins as interstellar explorers. While they struggled to grasp the enormity of alien contact, their intrigue about our interest in Earth's predators eclipsed any fear. Dr. Asher explained how their team tracked lion prides, documenting territorial patterns and health. They frequently assisted in rescue or medical interventions, forging trust through consistent care. Astonished, Jasta inquired if it always worked. Dr. Alina admitted failure happened when humans acted hastily or aggressively, citing tragedies where poachers were mauled. Yet, in well-run conservation areas, lethal confrontations were rare. This nuance mirrored the broader truth: the human-predator bond required patience, humility, and knowledge of animal signals. We recorded hours of testimony, gleaning insights into Earth's centuries-long transition from hunting predators to conserving them. Along the way, we were introduced to lionesses nursing cubs while tolerating human proximity, and orphaned cubs raised into adulthood who still recognized their former human caretakers. The lines between wild and tame blurred in ways no Solarian culture had witnessed. Each new revelation expanded the boundaries of our mission. Seeking a wider perspective, we ventured beyond Africa. In India, we observed the delicate interplay between villagers and tigers in protected sanctuaries. We found a community that revered the big cats, leaving offerings and deterring poachers. Instead of culling dangerous tigers, they tried to relocate or rehabilitate them. The trust was not absolute, attacks still occurred, but the overarching ethos leaned toward coexistence. In the Brazilian Amazon, locals guided us to a rehabilitation center where jaguars, once orphaned or injured, lived semi-wild. The staff formed genuine attachments with these fearsome felines. When feeding or administering medical treatment, they employed a gentle touch and calm voice. Most astonishing were the moments of spontaneous affection, a jaguar rubbing its forehead against a caretaker's leg, or purring softly while receiving treatment. Our scanners captured emotional frequencies brimming with gratitude and fondness. Surely, no implant could replicate such authentic rapport. The question gnawed at us: how did humans foster this environment of trust across disparate ecosystems? We hypothesized that Earth's biodiversity, combined with humanity's capacity for empathy, created countless microbonds over millennia. The phenomenon was too widespread to be coincidence. Reluctantly, TYRN conceded that no advanced device could produce such uniform results across the entire globe. Something deeper was at play. Confronted by mounting evidence, we returned to Benjamin's camp for prolonged study. He and his team graciously allowed us to observe their daily routines. We saw them wake before dawn, prepare medication or supplies for injured animals, then drive hours across the savannah to locate and help those in need. Lions, once violent if cornered, now approached their vehicles with familiarity. Even cubs learned not to fear the engine's rumble, associating it with aid rather than danger. Benjamin spoke of a phenomenon he called generational trust. Over decades, conservation teams replaced hunters and poachers, so predator populations gradually linked human presence with care instead of harm. Yet, he stressed that this trust was fragile. One act of cruelty can undo years of goodwill, he warned. We nodded, comprehending that such a delicate balance would be alien to many in the grand collective, who favored absolute control or avoidance. In the evenings, gathered around the dim glow of lanterns, we asked about spiritual and cultural dimensions. Dr. Alina explained that many humans attributed a sacred or symbolic importance to these predators, weaving them into myths and folklore that taught respect for nature's power. It was a tapestry of science, spirituality, and compassion unlike anything we had encountered. Several weeks into our research, we encountered a critical incident that tested this fragile harmony. A rogue lion, agitated by a territorial dispute, attacked a small encampment. 2 humans were injured before rangers tranquilized the beast. In Solarian logic, such aggression warranted culling to prevent further harm. But the conservation team disagreed, insisting it deserved a chance at relocation. Fascinated, we followed them to a quarantine enclosure, where the lion paced restlessly. Dr. Alina examined the animal, discovering it suffered from a festering wound, likely making it more irritable. Over several days, the researchers treated the wound, administering antibiotics and monitoring its recovery. Each time they entered the enclosure, the lion snarled but did not lunge. They never retaliated with violence, handling it as gently as possible while still ensuring safety. Gradually, the lion calmed, accepting the care. When the day came to release it far from human settlements, a curious scene unfolded. Despite being set free, the lion paused, glancing back at Dr. Alina with a strange mix of caution and recognition. Our emotional scanners noted a faint chord of trust. It vanished into the tall grass, leaving us stunned. If this was not a testament to empathy's power, nothing else could be. As our understanding deepened, we decided it was time to inform the grand collective. We compiled visual records, emotional frequency data, and first-hand accounts into a comprehensive report. The journey home to Telaria was anxious. Would the Council believe that mere empathy and consistent kindness could explain centuries of interspecies harmony? Our report caused an uproar. Some Council members dismissed our findings as naive romanticism, citing historical cases where apex predators were subdued through gene manipulation. Yet they could not dispute our data. Elder Saphen, a staunch traditionalist, demanded we recheck for hidden technologies. TYRN, once the biggest skeptic among us, defended our research, stating plainly, we found no sign of any advanced device. It's real. After intense debate, the Council reached a momentous decision: they would send a delegation to Earth to verify the findings. If genuine, humanity's methods could revolutionize how the collective managed dangerous wildlife on countless planets. Privately, I worried about exposing Earth to such scrutiny. Would these humans, who valued delicate balances, be exploited by less scrupulous members of the collective? Still, knowledge demanded sharing, and Earth's example might inspire profound positive change. So we prepared to guide the Council delegation back to the planet where humans ruled predators through compassion alone. Returning to Earth with a contingent of Council observers, we introduced them to Benjamin's team. Initially, the Solarian elders wore cautious expressions. While they admired Earth's majestic landscapes, they seemed reluctant to believe that creatures this large and powerful could be so docile around humans. Yet every demonstration reinforced our findings. They observed Dr. Asher assisting a lioness in labor, marveling that the lioness allowed him to gently examine her cubs. The watchers recorded the phenomenon with wide, awestruck eyes. Elder Saphen tested the area for covert emissions but found none. If skepticism lingered, it began to crack. One afternoon, Dr. Alina arranged a visit to a local Maasai community that coexisted with lions by using non-lethal deterrents. The Maasai warriors explained how they balanced their traditions with modern conservation techniques, avoiding unnecessary bloodshed. Our guests recognized the cultural dimension fueling humanity's unique relationship with predators. Emissaries from other collective species found the synergy almost unimaginable. On their worlds, apex predators were typically exterminated or confined to preserves sealed off by force fields. Yet here, humans preferred integrated habitats, with boundaries enforced mostly by mutual respect. By the end of the visit, the elders' stance had shifted from outright disbelief to measured wonder, signaling a paradigm shift that none could have predicted. Encouraged by the African experience, we took the delegation to Asia's tiger reserves, where they met park rangers responsible for maintaining equilibrium between local villages and roaming tigers. Even the most hardened council members grew silent watching a striped tiger, the embodiment of lethal elegance, rest beside a ranger as though it were a house cat. Surrounded by tall grass and misty air, the foreigners felt the hum of shared existence. Rather than illusions or sedation, they witnessed the ranger use gentle whistles and hand gestures to soothe the tiger. The council recorded detailed footage, analyzing every second for signs of trickery. Again, they found none. Solarian xenobiologists conversed with Earth's wildlife experts, exchanging theories about species psychology. Both sides acknowledged a complex tapestry of signals, body language, vocal tone, consistent routines, and a sense of safety. It became clear that while not every human possessed such skill, enough did to reshape entire ecosystems. The Council's perspective continued to evolve, culminating in an unprecedented statement, that Earth's approach could unlock new frontiers in human-animal cooperation across the galaxy. Whispered rumors circulated that Earth might soon be invited to join the Grand Collective, a rare honor for a relatively young civilization. Whether Earth accepted or not remained to be seen. Throughout our global tour, a quiet revolution stirred within each observer. We saw a wolf pack accept a human researcher who knelt at a respectful distance, offering gestures of camaraderie. We witnessed an orca gently nudge a diver, apparently requesting assistance in removing a fishing net entangled around its fin. In every corner of Earth, the pattern repeated, humans bridging the gap with animals that could kill them but instead recognized them as allies. The Solarian delegation, once convinced that advanced gadgetry was essential, found itself rethinking fundamental assumptions. It was humbling, perhaps even unsettling, to realize that raw compassion and patience could achieve results where technology might fail. Some suggested that humans possessed an evolutionary advantage in reading animal cues, citing well-developed mirror neurons or subtle electromagnetic fields. Others insisted it was cultural, passed down through generations of lore and communal living. In truth, the explanation likely encompassed both biology and tradition, woven together into an extraordinary tapestry. As our journey neared its end, Elder Saphen stood beside me at sunrise on the Indian coastline. "Our worlds have much to learn from each other," he said softly, watching fishermen feed dolphins just offshore. I nodded, heartened that this once skeptical leader now recognized empathy's infinite potential. Returning to Tselaria, the council convened a special assembly to deliberate on Earth's admission into the collective. Holoscreens projected vivid images of humans tending to lions, tigers, wolves, and beyond. The emotional resonance data we gathered left little doubt: these bonds were genuine, forged by consistent interactions based on trust, care, and respect. Representatives from other species joined the debate via long-distance transmissions. Some argued that humans, if capable of pacifying dangerous animals, might do the same to predatory races, subtly subverting them. Others saw it as an opportunity to advance beyond archaic methods of subjugation. "If they can channel the loyalty of beasts," one delegate observed, "perhaps they can help unify a fractured galaxy." The debate was fiery, and old rivalries flared. Yet gradually, testimonies from the Tselarian delegation swayed the majority, emphasizing how humans had offered us only friendship, not cunning manipulation. Eventually, votes were tallied. In a landmark decision, Earth received a conditional invitation to the Grand Collective. They would be asked to share ecological stewardship knowledge and interspecies empathy techniques, guiding less harmonious civilizations toward coexistence. Although some withheld support, the motion passed. The universe would soon discover the truth about humans: they ruled not by fear, but by forging unbreakable connections. With Earth's invitation secured, the next step involved formalizing diplomatic ties. We returned to Earth, this time openly, no longer lurking under cloaks. Our arrival sparked awe, celebration, and inevitable pockets of trepidation. Governments scrambled to issue statements, some hailing us as friends, others wary of alien influence. However, it was ordinary people, farmers, scientists, children, who welcomed us most enthusiastically. They arranged wildlife demonstrations and cultural festivals to celebrate this new era of interplanetary understanding. The seeds of trust we had witnessed in lions and tigers seemed to spread to humanity's attitude toward us. During a special session at the United Nations, ambassadors from various Earth nations and the Tselarian Council met. We discussed the terms of collective membership, focusing on preserving Earth's cultural sovereignty and ensuring ethical exchanges of technology. Dr. Alina, representing Earth's conservation community, stepped onto the grand stage and, in a stirring speech, spoke of cherishing life in all forms. She likened Earth's apex predators to cosmic wonders, deserving not just fear but reverence. The audience erupted in applause. Looking around, I saw tears in some eyes, both human and Tselarian. This was the pivotal moment when we recognized that Earth had much to contribute. Their so-called primitive ways masked a profound wisdom we had almost overlooked. As Earth's formal induction approached, speculation ran wild. Would humanity's empathy translate to other galactic species with similarly fierce temperaments? Some dreaded the possibility of humans allying with notoriously hostile empires through sheer compassion, potentially altering the balance of power. Others envisioned a golden age where conflict subsided because even the mightiest recognized a gentler path. Amid the excitement, the Drask, a militaristic species known for conquering worlds through intimidation, issued a challenge. They doubted the sincerity of Earth's methods, suspecting some secret technology. Demanding proof, they threatened to test humans' abilities by unleashing fearsome creatures from their own homeworld. Though many in the collective worried about conflict, Earth's response was calm. "We welcome you to observe our conservation efforts firsthand," Benjamin replied in a broadcast. The Drask accepted, planning a delegation to Earth. Tensions rose. Some humans feared the Drask might sabotage the demonstration. Others within the collective saw this as the ultimate test of Earth's claim. If humans could soothe the savage beasts of Drask origin, no one could deny their gift. Preparations began, from logistical arrangements to selecting suitable wildlife reserves. Beneath the flurry of activity, the question lingered: could empathy alone pacify creatures born in a culture of domination? The Drask arrived on Earth with an armored entourage, each clad in exoskeleton suits. Their leaders bore jagged spikes, eyes scanning for weakness. We escorted them to a secure facility designed for cross-species research, where they met Dr. Alina and Dr. Asher. Despite tension thick as jungle humidity, the humans maintained composure. The Drask soon presented a caged, snorting beast from their homeworld. It resembled a colossal reptilian hound with multiple rows of teeth and a triple-forked tongue. It slammed against the steel bars, roaring with primal rage. "Release it, and show us your vaunted empathy," the Drask commander sneered, half expecting a bloodbath. With the council's oversight, the beast was transferred to a reinforced enclosure. Dr. Asher, wearing only standard protective gear, stepped forward. Our hearts hammered. The Drask hound charged the fence, fangs bared. Instead of retreating, Dr. Asher knelt, avoiding direct eye contact. He spoke softly, voice filled with calm determination. Next, he extended a chunk of synthetic meat, letting the beast catch its scent. At first, it snapped at the air. Then, curiosity paused its aggression. Dr. Asher repeated quiet phrases, inching closer. The tension was suffocating, but slowly, unbelievably, the beast stopped roaring. A hush fell. Even the Drask looked stunned. Over days of careful interaction, the hound grew tolerant of Dr. Asher's presence. He employed the same principles used with Earth's predators: consistent body language, gentle vocalizations, and patient observation. The hound still snarled at any sudden movement, but it ceased its relentless attacks on the enclosure. Occasionally, it even accepted morsels of food directly from Dr. Asher's hand. Meanwhile, the Drask commander looked on, arms crossed, wrestling with visible disbelief. Our instruments recorded diminishing hostility in the creature's emotional spectrum. Though it remained dangerous, it recognized that these humans were not there to harm it. On the final day of demonstration, Dr. Asher dared to touch the hound's armored flank through the bars. It snapped at first, but then retreated, uncertain. Moments later, it allowed the contact, shuddering but not retaliating. The Drask delegation exchanged uneasy glances. Their worldview, built on conquest and subjugation, had never considered this gentler approach. As we prepared to conclude, the Drask commander demanded a private word with Dr. Asher. What passed between them remains confidential, but after that conversation, the Drask withdrew their objections to Earth's collective membership. Some said they left humbled, others claimed they departed more wary than before. Regardless, Earth's demonstration had reshaped yet another corner of the galaxy. Earth's formal induction ceremony took place at Solaria's Grand Council Hall. Dignitaries from 100 worlds gathered, the atmosphere crackling with anticipation. A hush fell when Elder Saphen welcomed humanity. One by one, leaders stepped forward to voice support. Dar. Alina delivered Earth's acceptance speech, highlighting the shared responsibility of all advanced civilizations to protect life. "We stand before you, not as masters of beasts, but as their custodians," she declared. "Together, we can foster respect for every living thing, from the smallest insect to the largest apex predator." The hall erupted in applause, tentacles, claws, and hands uniting in a chorus of approval. Even some Drask delegates clapped reluctantly. The moment was historic, marking not just an alliance but a profound shift in galactic philosophy. The ancient Solarian records would mark this day as the dawn of a new epoch. Humans, once deemed technologically primitive, were now catalysts for rethinking interspecies relations. Their approach, embracing vulnerability to cultivate trust, had rattled assumptions across star systems. As the newly minted Earth ambassador, Dr. Alina bowed to the assembly. Underneath her official poise, there flickered the same earnest compassion we had witnessed when she treated an injured lion. In that twinkle lay the promise of a better, more empathetic galactic future. In the months that followed, Earth's membership sparked a surge in collaborative ventures. Scientists from distant planets traveled to Earth to study the human method of interacting with predators. Zoos and sanctuaries worldwide expanded their programs, blending advanced alien veterinary techniques with tried-and-true human empathy. Meanwhile, Earth's youth grew up alongside Solarian pen pals, exchanging stories of family pets and faraway alien fauna. Economically, Earth benefited from the collective's trade, acquiring cleaner energy technologies in exchange for ecotourism and agricultural exports. Yet the greatest benefit was intangible, a rising wave of hope. If humans could befriend creatures that once threatened them, perhaps even warring civilizations could find pathways to reconciliation. Not everyone embraced the change. There were whispers of factions planning to exploit Earth's abilities, to breed super-predators under human guidance. Some Drask hardliners labeled Earth's approach as weakness. Yet each attempt to undermine this new era met a groundswell of public support for peaceful coexistence. The Solarians doubled their diplomatic efforts, championing Earth's ethos whenever cynics questioned it. Elder Saphen personally oversaw an initiative to introduce Earth's empathy-based training on certain war-torn planets, hoping to quell rampant biodiversity loss. Slow and complex, the transformation still felt unstoppable. Empathy, once overlooked, had become a cherished commodity. Amid these shifting tides, our research team revisited Earth, curious to see how daily life had evolved under interstellar scrutiny. We returned to Benjamin's camp, finding it abuzz with alien visitors, some from worlds lacking apex predators entirely, awestruck by lions. Benjamin greeted us warmly, his once lonesome campsite transformed into a bustling center for cultural exchange. Lions reclined lazily, accustomed to so many observing eyes, while experts from distant galaxies took meticulous notes. "It's surreal," Benjamin confided, glancing at a group of purple-skinned academics from the outer rim. "They come to see how we relate to the lions, but I think we're all learning from each other." Indeed, knowledge flowed both ways. The Solarian medtechs introduced advanced wound-healing salves, accelerating recovery for injured cubs. A reptilian xenobiologist from Tarash shared techniques for communicating with scaly species, further broadening Earth's conservation methods. Meanwhile, local communities received funds to safeguard habitats, bridging the gap between human needs and wildlife. The big cats, once threatened by poaching, now found unprecedented protection under cosmic eyes. That evening, as the sun set over the savannah, I watched a pride of lions walk freely, unafraid. Their roars blended with the hum of alien chatter, a living testament to this extraordinary partnership. In Asia, tigers roamed broader territories thanks to advanced environmental planning gleaned from Solarian city designs. Corridors allowed them to wander without clashing with human settlements. Similarly, wolf populations in Europe rebounded, aided by improved coexistence strategies. Whales and sharks thrived under new marine protection frameworks funded by interplanetary collaborations. Everywhere we looked, Earth's apex predators found renewed habitats free from the old scars of unbridled exploitation. Such positive change did not come without sacrifice. Humans grappled with certain collective regulations, wrestling with concerns about off-world commercial influences. Environmental activism reached unprecedented heights, as some worried that galactic trade might tempt corruption. Yet the synergy of advanced technology and Earth's cultural emphasis on empathy steered these changes more constructively than not. Even the Drask, once the fiercest critics, participated in a pilot program involving mutual exchange of wildlife management strategies. Although tension lingered, glimmers of respect emerged. Some Drask soldiers visited Earth's sanctuaries to witness young tigers playing with rangers, returning home with softened hearts, albeit grudgingly. Thus, Earth's membership in the collective proved far more than a mere alliance. It sparked a re-examination of morality itself, how a species chooses to wield power, whether through subjugation or through forging deeper connections that benefit all involved. One day, as I strolled through a Kenyan reserve alongside Dr. Alina, a lioness, and her cubs crossed our path. We halted, enthralled by their silent grace. The mother regarded us calmly, ears twitching. Dr. Alina whispered, "Keep still." I stayed motionless, heart pounding with excitement. After a few tense moments, the lioness continued on her way, cubs trotting behind, unthreatened by our presence. That fleeting interaction captured everything we had learned. Humans were not apex predators by fang or claw, but by forging alliances that transcended primal fears. Empathy became their shield and staff, bridging the gap between species. I thought of Celeria, where we used sedation chambers and neural links for safety. Perhaps we too could learn to place trust in beasts, teaching them to trust us back. When I voiced this hope, Dr. Alina smiled. It takes time, patience, and a willingness to see animals as equals in some sense. But if we can do it, others can too. In that moment, I realized empathy was not a human-exclusive trait, it was an undercurrent in the grand cosmic tapestry, waiting to be tapped. Humans had merely shown us the path, illuminating possibilities that even our advanced science had overlooked. Eventually, the day came for my return to Celeria. My mission, once narrowly focused on understanding Earth's predator relationships, had blossomed into a lifelong passion. As I prepared to board the Luminex, Benjamin, Dr. Alina, and Dr. Asher arrived to bid me farewell. We exchanged gifts, books of Earth's wildlife photography for Celerian crystal sculptures symbolizing unity. Dr. Alina expressed gratitude for our openness, acknowledging that Earth had as much to gain as to give. Benjamin joked, "You know, if you ever want to settle here, we could use another field assistant." The notion warmed me, but duty beckoned. I promised to return, though, certain that Celerian society would benefit from Earth's insights. We parted with hugs, another human custom that felt increasingly natural. As the Luminex lifted off, I gazed down at the golden plains teeming with life. Memories flooded my mind, the first lion I saw bowing its head, the countless demonstrations of trust between man and beast, the Drask confrontation, and the grand ceremony uniting Earth and the collective. This planet, once an enigma, had become a beacon of empathy. And though I left its surface, Earth's lesson, that real strength arises from cooperation, not conquest, would guide my people for generations. Back on Celeria, I delivered an address recounting all I had witnessed. My fellow citizens listened with rapt attention as I described how human caretakers risked their lives to save dangerous creatures, forging friendships few believed possible. I ended my speech with a simple observation: they do not rule beasts by breaking them, but by extending a hand in trust. The applause was thunderous. In the months that followed, new reforms encouraged Celerian researchers to adopt Earth's model, slowly phasing out certain containment methods. Ambassadors from Earth and Celeria co-founded interstellar symposiums on compassionate wildlife management, exchanging knowledge that healed old wounds on many planets. Stories spread of humans pacifying monstrous predators on remote worlds, forging improbable alliances again and again. Though there were missteps and cautionary tales, the overarching narrative was one of hope. I often reflected on that final sunrise I shared with Dr. Alina, marveling at a lioness caring for her cub. In that moment, the lioness was neither enslaved nor subdued. Instead, she coexisted with humans who chose empathy over fear. That is the heart of Earth's power, an unwavering willingness to share the world rather than claim it. And in so doing, they rule the beasts, by earning their trust.